Okay, welcome everyone to Digital Vino, which is back after the holidays. I think there's a bit of an echo. If you don't hear me well, you just have to tell me and I'll change the mic. So I'm very happy today to have my guest Federico Gordini from Milano Wine Week. He's the founder of Milano Wine Week, and I actually met him the first time at a party in Emilia Romagna, in Romagna, I think.
Yeah,
I didn't really know who you were.
yeah.
But it was a fun party at Ennio Ottaviani,
It's
and
strange. Yeah. I perfectly remember the beginning of the party.
it went on and on and on and on. And I
Yeah,
just thought it was like a normal lunch. I had no clue that it was like a total rave party or something.
crazy party.
So anyway, so since then we've been kind of seeing each other often at different events, and I went to Milano Wine Week last year, which was very much fun. So today we're going to learn more about Milano Wine Week this year because it's going to change how it's organized. And I don't know. I think I will just say welcome to Federico and let you present yourself. And if anybody have any questions, just feel free to ask them in the comments. Okay,
Okay.
so Federico.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for the invitation, Katarina. It's been a long time since that party, and I'm very happy to be here, hosted by you tonight. Actually, Milan One Week is a great challenge this year because last year you came to visit us in Milan, and it was great. It was the second edition. We grew up. We are growing up fast, very fast as an event. We became huge in a couple of years. Imagine that the past year we had more than 300,000 hosts in more than 300 events all around the town. So it was something that it was very difficult to expect when we began in 2018. But there was a great energy, and there is a great energy, because it was the combination between the great energy of Milan and the great energy of the world of wine, who was willing to come in Milan and to have such a big event in the most international capital that we have actually in Italy for everything, for the excellence, first of all, for fashion, for design, for all the main the most important, let's say, fields of Italian excellence in the world. Um, then, we were preparing us for getting ready for our presentation in February. And imagine that we were we were supposed to host the presentation in a cinema, okay, in Milan. Yeah. So we didn't know that it was like the most forbidden thing in the world at the end of the day, because then the COVID emergency came. And we decided to not quit our project because, as you perfectly know, every fair, every event was cancelled after the emergency. But we decided to go on with our project, to make some changes, because I think that in general, not just in the events industry, it's very important to consider that we have to pay a big attention to the emergency. We have to do whatever we can to have the right behaviors, to try, to make our best to stop the increasing of the numbers of the emergency. But in the same time, it's impossible to stop everything. It's impossible to stop all the activities, the restaurants, the bars, the events, the shops, whatever. So everything was stopped during the lockdown, and it was a nightmare. And I think that it's very important, when you start thinking about events in general, you immediately start thinking about something crowded, which is, of course, difficult to understand and to communicate, especially in these times. But the thing is that I think that there's the possibility to go on with the activities, even in this situation. It depends on the kind of rules that you put.
Yeah.
If you have strict rules, If you have a perfect organization, you can run events.
Yeah.
Of course,
So,
it's
I'm just going to
impossible.
interrupt you a while. I'm sorry if I just interrupt you. There's a person who says hello, so it's Will Cross.
I
And also
I
Deborah
will.
from Policella.
Hi, Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Nice to see you.
So if we just get into focus a bit on what is the objective with this? I think I have to change the microphone. So I'll put you alone in the show. So if you just continue to talk a bit about the objective of the Milano Wine Week this year.
Yeah. The thing is that we decided immediately to try to do something different. Of course, we canceled from our schedule all the events, the most crowded events, like the parties. We had such a big schedule of parties running all around the 9 days of our festival. But the thing is that it was impossible to run parties in the same way we ran in the past, and so we decided to quit that activity and to substitute the parties with activities that will be shared and spread all around the restaurants, the wine bars. That there will be hundreds of restaurants and wine bars taking part to the event, which is very important because, of course, as you perfectly know, during the lockdown, all the restaurants and bars closed, and it's very important for us to restart even their activity, because, of course, we need to think about restaurants and bars, because without restaurants, wine bars, and bars, it's impossible to survive even for the wine industry. So it's very important to pay a big attention. And you know that Milan in the past years became an international capital of restaurants. First of all, we grew up very, very fast in the past 10 years. It was the long wave of Expo 2015 that came in Milan. And before the Expo, there were many investments, and even after the Expo. So everything was going really, really, really well in Milan before the COVID emergency, even because we just won the candidateship for the Olympic Games, Milano Cortina. So it was the wave was becoming longer and longer and longer. Unfortunately, we had to stop, or we are ready to restart. So we restart with a big, huge call to all the restaurants and bars in Milan for many events. We will have Palazzo Bovara, which is our headquarters, where we will run all the tastings. The tastings will be run in a perfect organization for the COVID emergency, of course. So the number of people that will be hosted, that will take part to the tastings, will be the 50% less. So we will have tasting just for 25, 30 people in a room that can host normally 90, 100 persons. So this is something to create the correct distance between every person will take part that will take part to the events. We will have always all the sanitary prescriptions, so everything will be under very strict rules, but the tastings will be run in Palazzo Bovara. We will have another location that will be focused on kitchen, because it's another very interesting theme. You know that we organize another big festival in Milan, which is Milano Food Week. Yeah. Normally, Milano Food Week is in May. This year we had to quit after 10 years, and we will come back with Milano Food Week in May 2021. But we decided as well to do something with all the most important Italian chefs that are working with us since ages. And we decided to do something based on wine. So a wine pairing project in which each of the chefs, there will be around 30 chefs taking part of this event during the 9 days of the event. But the thing is that the thing is, I didn't see the question.
No.
Afterwards. for being honest about having smaller numbers this year. Yeah, we will have, it's kind of smaller numbers. I think it's not just about numbers, Will, but I think is something different happening, because of course we will have the tastings as well. We will have these cooking shows based on wine. We will have also big, interesting presentations of some of the most important wine guides that we have in Italy. I can give you any anticipation because we will have the press conference on the 16th September, in which we will describe, we will present all the official schedule of Milan Wine Week, and there will be some interesting news with new, very important partnerships with the big players of the world of wine. Because what we're trying to do in Milan, especially this year, is to create a big connection, to stay all together, to work as the fashion industry, the design industry did in Milan, all together, because being all together means giving the possibility in the future, when even the incoming activity will restart, to give the possibility to the people to come and to find what's happening of new in the world of wine. So this is what we want to do. We want to be a place, Milan wants to be a place not just for the Italian wine, but for the international wine industry, as we are for fashion, for design, where we talk about the future of wine. And that's the reason why we go on with our activities, with our forums. We will have the Wine Business Forum that would be about the internationalization with experts coming from all over the world, and giving the new instruments for the internationalization, from new challenges in the most important markets that we have in the world to the people of the wine industry. The thing is that we have another very interesting forum, which is something new, but I can talk about this because it's already official. The collaboration with the Bocconi University for this new format, which is called Shaping Wine. In Shaping Wine, we will talk about the future of the retail of wine, starting our reflection on how is the cities, the towns are changing. And so what is the new behavior of the consumers? And so what is the translation of the new behavior, of the new needs in the retail? And what is the role of the wine industry in the future of the new retail? So it's a reflection, of course, based on the retail. And then we have the third forum, which is the second edition, is one of the biggest things that we have in Milano Wine Week, which is called Wine Generation Forum, and is the forum dedicated to the millennials working in the wine industry, not just winemakers, not just owners, but managers, communicators, enologists, agronomists, all the people working in the industry. Is the first. Last year we organized this with the AGIVI, which is the Association of the Young Winemakers, Italian winemakers. And the thing is that is very important, this because the last year Wine Generation Forum was the first ever forum, generational forum for the wine industry. So it's something interesting because the new generation of the people working in the wine industry starts in Milan, with a forum that we host every year, and which is very important for us to create, first of all, connection, but to give also new instruments, new ideas, starting from the networking between people coming not just from Italy, but from many countries. Why from many countries? Because one of the decisions we took when we saw the situation with the COVID emergency was to create a digital platform that will give us the possibility to share all what we do during Milan Wine Week. So the tastings, of course, the forums, the interesting interviews to many people from the wine industry, many entrepreneurs.
Can I just interrupt?
Yeah.
I don't know whether something doesn't work today.
It doesn't work?
No, I have too much echo.
Okay.
Try to put the earbuds in. I don't know if it's because of that. Do you have any?
Let me see. No, because I have the iPhone ones. No, they don't work in this computer.
Okay.
Fortunately not. So I can get closer to the computer. Maybe it works better.
No, I think it's me who has. Oh no, the echo is gone. Okay, all good.
Okay.
Everything is
Is it
okay.
working?
Yes. So I
Perfect.
wanted to ask you because there's a question from Will Cross. So he wants to know how hard it has been to adjust to the things this year. Do you want to say something short about that before we continue?
Yes, of course. Well, it was hard, but it was the only option. And so the thing is that okay, I work in the wine industry and in the food industry, but first of all, I work in the events industry. And as you perfectly know, in wherever in the world, our industry was stopped by the emergency. And the problem is that not running the events is not just a problem for the one who organized the event, but there are many people working in our field. Um, the technicians, the people working for the setup, the hostess, the security people. So everyone, they are without the possibility of working right now. So we have to find the right solution to go on, because even the event industry, especially in a place like Milan is, can't stop totally, because otherwise this would be a big social problem also for the people working in the industry, and there are thousands and thousands of people working in the industry. So it's hard. It's still hard, because as you know, every day there are bad news coming out. The numbers are increasing, the numbers are decreasing, blah blah blah. So it's not easy to work even in these days, but we want to go on because it's important for, first of all, for the wine industry, second of all, for the event industry, and third of all, for leaving a message to everyone that is possible to go on even in this situation, because it's something we have to deal with. So we have to go on trying to find the best solution to deal with this situation.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you before. I don't know why I have echo all the time. It's very annoying. Do you hear better now?
No, no, I hear perfectly. I always hear you
Yeah, it feels
perfectly,
like
Katarina.
echo. I don't know why. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about how it's going to work between the international locations. So who can
Yeah.
participate internationally to listen in to the tastings in?
Okay, Kat, you know perfectly that this year is impossible to travel the world, and
Yes.
that's the reason why we decided to organize something which is pretty new for the world of wine. So we rented these 9 tasting rooms in 9 different locations. We have 3 in the US, New York, Miami, and San Francisco. We have 1 in Canada in Toronto. We have 1 in London, 1 in Munich. Then we have Moscow, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. What's going to happen there? We will have the possibility to host in those tasting rooms tastings that actually are starting in Milan. So the winemaker is in Milan with 30 people in front of him, and using our digital platform with a high quality signal, we will be live in these locations all around the world, giving the possibilities to business and trade operators from all over the world, from these cities, from these areas, journalists, and so on, to take part to the tasting live, drinking the wines. So it's the same experience. The only thing which is changing is that the producer, the winemaker, or the person taking the organizing the tasting is in Milan. So Palazzo Bovara will become practically a TV studio, broadcasting tastings all around the world, starting in the morning for China and Hong Kong, And then in the first part of the afternoon, we will start the broadcasting for the US, for the East Coast. During the night, we will broadcast for the West Coast. We will give the possibility it's a brand new thing, because we will have also an app giving the possibility of an interaction between the people taking part to the tastings, of course, and the person leading the tasting. And it's very interesting because it's something new, you giving also the possibility to our winemakers, to our wine brands and consortiums, to use the international promotion funds that practically they didn't have the chance to use because of the COVID emergency, because every fair, every event, every tour was cancelled. So we give them the possibility to meet the people that they should meet during the fair. So to have the possibility of promoting, of presenting the wines, because as you know, Caterina, this year it sounds strange, but many wines didn't have an actual presentation. So we give the possibility to present the wines in October, and to give them and to give the winemakers the possibility to present the wines in very important part of the year, because everything is focused on the third quarter of the year for the market, because of course everything was stopped before. So doing an international tasting in October gives you the possibility of working for the business starting from October, the Christmas, and the first part of the year before the beginning of the new events and fairs that we seriously hope that we restart at the beginning of the 2021. But this is an opportunity of wine promotion which is unique, new, brand new, technological, but it's not digital. The digital side, Caterina, is just something that gives you the possibility of seeing the experience, because I broadcast the transmission from Milan, but the experience is the same that you have when you have the winemaker in front of you in a regular tasting. So this is very, very important, because digital in an experiential world as wine is, can substitute the experience, can just be an instrument to connect the people. Of course, the transmission will be available even for people that won't be in the tasting room. So if someone from Japan, I don't have a tasting room this year in Tokyo, if someone from Japan wants to take part to the tasting, you just have to register and connect to our platform, to digitalwinefair.com, okay, our digital platform, and it can take part to the tasting. If the wine brand sends him the products, the wines, he can take part from to the tasting even from home. But the thing is that the experience is the same that you have in a regular tasting. So technology is just helping.
Okay. So we were talking a bit before. You were talking before about. No, I lost the thread. But I was also interested in learning more about, because you told me yesterday on the phone about the thing you want to invest also in the food. That you talk about the food side. That the food event was canceled this year, but that you want to focus on Italian chefs also. So could you talk a bit more about that, perhaps?
Yes, of course. Caterina, you know that what happened, so the COVID emergency increased a lot the home consumption of wines. Everyone was at home, everyone still is at home in many cases, because all around the world there are different situations, but the people stay more frequently at home. And it's very important for us to try to create a culture of the pairing between wine and food, because what we have right now is a number of people that are really passionate about wine, but the culture is not very strong normally, even because normally, or either you are a sommelier, either you decide to study, Otherwise, there are not many instruments to create a culture for the big number of wine consumers. So the thing is that we decided to start this project, bringing a selection of 30 of the best Italian chefs. Every one of them will be paired to a wine. So they will start from the wine and they will create a recipe designed around the wine, to give the possibility to the consumers to understand more on of how can you pair that wine to the food. And the idea is to give the people the possibility to remake the recipe at home, and to understand more about the culture, the territory, because it is something that we have to do is entertainment, but in the same time is culture. And we have to try, Catarina, I think, to give the best instruments possible to the trade operators, to the people working in the industry.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
the possibility of networking, of doing very interesting meetings, of the tasting rooms all around the world, of the forums. In the same time, we have to pay attention to the final consumers. And it's very important to invest in their culture. And that's the reason why we decided to bring the kitchen in Milano Wine Week. It will be hosted in a wonderful location in San Babila Square, close to Duomo.
Okay.
There will be the possibility of taking part to the show cooking just for a small number of people, but everyone can take part to the shows, because there will be on our social pages, on our platform. So it would be a great occasion of culture of the wine pairing.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know if anybody else has any questions. I see there's some other people listening in from, I think there's also Mark Briand from Canada. He's an importer. He was commenting about the echo, but I think it's over now. I managed to solve it. I have a question from Tina Mori, a friend of mine who is a sommelier, and she has the Twitter chat wine studio since 5-6 years. It's growing, and we collaborate a bit. So she has a question for you. She wanted to know. She was saying that your website looks great, and she was very interested in the Milano Wine Week event as such. And I'm going to put in the comment now. Just a second. So she wants to know, like, moving forward into this brave new world, provided that it goes well in October, if you're planning to already to provide other online sessions for 2021.
Okay. Yes, of course. Even because Catarina, no, but just because I know you are just between friends. No, I have to tell you this. It's very important for us to say this. This what we're doing internationally, and our platform is just the beginning of a story. Because I think that even when the things will get better and we will come back to the past, I think that we will need digital instruments to encourage the network and to help the business, okay, as well. I don't know if we will come back to travel a lot as we did in the past. I don't know if all the, I hope so. I really hope so. I'm for the physical part of the events, okay? So I really hope that the past will be restored as soon as possible. But even when it will be restored, I think that giving new instruments to the winemakers and to the wine industry is something really important, because maybe you know that there were, I think, in my opinion, not just in Italy but everywhere in the world, I think there were too many events, too many tours, expenses. And sometimes, I think that some of these activities can be substituted easily by projects as the one we are launching. So that's the reason why we will have another big session of tastings at the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
I think at the end of February. Okay. And then, of course, we will have a bigger thing during next Milan Wine Week in October. Hopefully, we will have many people joining us from the world in Milan, because this is the target. But anyways, it's not that every business operator, every trade operator, every journalist can join Milan. So this is another option for them to take part to the event as well and to live the experience as well. So that's something that we will always run. It's not just something that we decided to do for the COVID emergency and that we will cancel afterwards. No, will be always a part of our event. This is just a general trial. This is just the beginning of the story. In February, we will be back. But in general, our platform, Digital Wine Fair, will be always available. So there will be also special events, maybe just focused on a consortium or on a group of brands, of wine brands, that wants to create an international eve, and this will be their new opportunity of creating something, giving them the possibility to connect many people easily, without traveling, without making them travel, but giving them the possibility of living a wonderful and complete experience.
Yeah.
Of course, the only thing that we are missing is shaking our hands.
Yeah. It's all about elbows now.
Something that Italians, you perfectly know, Caterina, we are very physical. So it's really important. I think that sometimes we have also to understand that doing business means giving, especially for the medium small winemakers, the possibility to be more at home, to host more people, and to give them to have a very good connection as well with the trade operators, with their clients all around the world, using these new instruments. And maybe they will have to go to New York City maybe just a couple of times a year instead of going there 9 times, which is maybe something
perhaps.
too much, and sometimes it costs more than what is the final revenue.
So Cristina Zambanini says that she has to leave. No, I agree. I think I talked with some American friends already in the beginning of the lockdown, and I was convinced that this was something that would come, because I think that to travel as much as we did before is hard. Yeah. And there's always going to be people not being able to be in Milan or at any other event physically all the time. So I think it's a very good idea. And so I don't know if anybody else has any questions. Anything else you want to add about the event that you think is important to know for the listeners? You didn't hear me. No. Okay. So I think there's a problem with the sound today. So I was asking you, do you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly. No, I can hear you always perfectly.
So is there anything else you want to add about Milano Wine Week that you think is important to know for the people?
The official presentation is on the 16th September. The calendar will be available since that day. I think that the majority, the main themes of 1 week are these. I think that the most important thing is that there are many people many important persons of the wine industry, many important groups that are trying, to join and to get together, to stay together in these hard times. And I think that Milan is the right place to be. But I told you, not just for the event in itself, but even to leave a message. We have to go on. We have to survive even in these emergencies. And I think that everyone sometimes is looking at me, at us, like a crazy person, because it was easier, Katarina, to say, okay, yes, as everyone did. But we decided that was important for many reasons to go on, and we're still on. And I invite you all guys to join us. For the ones who live in Italy, of course, in Milan, and for the others to join our digital platform, digitalwinefair.com, and you can have the possibility to live Milano Wine Week as you were in Milan.
Yeah, for sure. So there was a question from Will, a last question, I think. So what do you enjoy the most about your Milano Wine Week?
The possibility of seeing in 9 days a big part of the world of wine. Since now the Italian world of wine, Caterina, and I think will that in the future even friends from all around the world will join us, because it's a wonderful way of doing networking, of staying together, or having a good time with many people. So what I enjoy more are the people. Then of course, it's difficult to say what are the kind of events, because we have many normally. This year I will surely miss the parties, because last year we had such a great ones. I don't know if you were, Catarina, at La Scala. Yeah. We did the party, was great.
No, I don't know. No, I went to it in the another building.
In another bit, there were parties everywhere practically. So yeah. I will miss for sure the parties, but we will come back stronger.
Next year.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so if there's no more questions, I would just, I think we've said a lot of things. It's been really interesting. So I thank you, Federico, very much. I'm sorry about the sound from my part, probably. I would cut that out so you will not hear it in the video that I will publish later on. So Deborah is sad to say that there's no parties, but next year.
Let's party at home. There will be small parties. It's not that you have to be 100 people or 500 people to party. You can be 10, but the right ones, and you can party as well. So sure. More and more small parties, respecting the rules, because it's very important for us that respect of all the rules is the base on which we are building Milan Wine Week. We're not joking when we are talking about rules. This is very serious. COVID is something real, okay? Is different, the emergency, from the one we lived, especially in Milan and Lombardy at the beginning. But the thing is that I think that Milan is the right place to restart for this reason, because we lived so much the worst part of the emergency in Milan and in Lombardy, and this gave us the right energy for restarting altogether. And we are really proud of restarting with wine, because even the Fashion Week in September would be with a lower impact, because there will be less people coming from abroad. And the thing, Caterina, is the people coming from abroad, the Fashion Week is not a big one, of course. There will be digital fashion shows.
Yeah.
They won't come here, so even the investment from the brands will be totally different. So Milan Wine Week will be the first event hosted in Milan that will try to find a way to be a great one, a great week as well, even in this different world, in these different conditions.
Yeah. No, it's a great initiative, and I think it's important, as you say, to do this sign of a relaunch after the year that we have all had, not only in Italy but also in most of the world, and still have. So, where can they find to register for all the events online? I guess I put the website in the comments here, so anybody who wants to go and sign up for a tasting can do so. And also to check out the program and so forth. If you're interested in more wine news, you can also sign up for my newsletter. I also put it in the comments. So thank you, Federico. I'm very happy that you wanted to be my guest.
Thank you very much for hosting me.
Thank you, everyone who listened in today. I'm sorry about the echo. I don't know. It normally works well, so I think it's Murphy's Law. When I have someone as important as Federico, it's all...
No. Please don't say that.
But I will...
More important guests. I'm just a friend, and we had so much fun. Thank you very much for the space. Okay.
So stay on. I'm just going to finish the live broadcast and stay on so we can stay afterwards. So thank you everyone again, and I hope that I will be back. I think in the mid-September, because now I'm leaving for Campania and then to Berlin for 10 days. So Digital Vino will be back in mid-September, I think. So thank you everyone, and have a nice evening, and see you soon. Ciao.